and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator on the East Coast in Virginia, in Chesapeake, Virginia to be exact. And typically I would come live on Facebook every noontime. You are probably worked your morning away. You need to take a break. So I like you to take a break while I create. But it is a new year and I decided to try some new things, which is always scary, at least in my world. I am actually doing my first YouTube live. I've had a channel. Typically I take my Facebook lives and I convert them into the video, put them in a newsletter and stream them on their way, but I decided let me try YouTube. So here I am. You are my guinea pigs, but I don't know how this will go, hopefully good. I always had an in-person Stampin' Up! Business, and then of course when COVID came, we all had to pivot and do a little bit more online. So that's where I've got like one foot in each side of the ditch that I'm working on. But it's time to do a YouTube live. And my mother always taught me that nothing ventured, nothing gained. So here I am, Mom, and hopefully it will go well. If not, I'm used to being defeated on technology. It has taken me kicking and screaming, and it hasn't been kind all the time, you know? Crazy things happen on Facebook. But anyways, we are here to create. But I just want to encourage you that it is a new year. If there is something that you've been wanting to try, something, you know, life is short. Get out there and live it. So try it. You really have nothing to lose. You know, if you make a fool of yourself, oh well, they'll talk about you for a day and then they'll forget it. Except it is kind of on social media for life. So let's hope that is not the case. But I am going to show you a card today. And it's a beautiful card as it is, but then I'm going to show you 3 different ways to do the background to give it a different look. Now it's the same size piece of designer paper on all 3 cards, but it's just the way you cut it. And that's what I want to share with you. So I'm going to turn my camera down and I'm going to boot up my computer, make sure that I'm here. I hope I'm here. I think I saw Bren. Bren popped in and I saw a little thing that said, I found you. So thank you, Bren. I'm glad you are here. Anyways, let me turn this around and where'd my little camera go? Okay, so let me hit that. I'm gonna turn you down for just a minute so I can get my stand straight. And here we are. So as you can see with these catalogs right here, Stampin' Up's Sale-a-Bration actually starts tomorrow. And I'm so glad because I can't show you the inside of these catalogs until it actually starts. So what I'm focusing on today are products from the Sale-a-Bration, and I'll introduce those to you in a minute. So with this, you earn these products free. They cannot be purchased. So with every minimum $50 or $100 order that you spend, you can pick the products out of here for free. Now, it is only available for January and February, so don't delay, and products are only available while they last. And I just don't like saying that because, you know, we wish it would last the whole time, but if you see something you like, order it right away so you're ensured that you're going to get those products. And you can do all your ordering on my website at my blog at creatingwithcolleen.com. So I see Barbie's here also. Yay! My regular Facebookers are finding me. So here we go. The product I'm using today, this is called Beautifully Happy. And this is a beautiful 2-step stamping. And what I mean by 2-step stamping is that the flowers fit inside the lined images. So it's great. I'm going to show you how quick and easy by using a stamparatus, that is to knock these out. But what's also nice is that if you ever want to just stamp the line image, you can, and then you can color it. We have watercolor pencils, blends, all kinds of different ways to color. So this is a wonderful stamp set with lots of great sayings for thank you, kindness matters, birthday, just sending happy thoughts, feel better. Covers a whole host of cards that you could make. Now the designer paper, this is actually called Dainty Flowers 12 by 12 designer paper. Now on my Creating with Colleen Magnus YouTube channel, I did a video last week And I showed how you can get 6 cards out of this piece of designer paper so easy. I did it very basic, and then I stepped it up. And the reason I did that, because whether you're a beginner stamper or an avid stamper, I would like to teach you how to create. So I have that on there. And incidentally, something I think, if I'm not mistaken, when you go to my channel, if you click on videos, you're going to see the videos that are already on there. But since this is my first live, if you click on the word live, you're going to find those on there. So I actually am in 2 different places now. But let me show you this paper. So this is gorgeous. And then on the back side, beautiful colors. This I also showed you in the video how you can make 8 cards. You would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's all in how you cut your designer paper. So I share that in the video too. But I think what I love best about Stampin' Up! And their designer papers is that they coordinate with their cardstock, with their ink pads, with their ribbons. It just makes creating easy, especially if you're color challenged like I am. So these are some beautiful designer papers here. Excuse me. So we are going to be using both of these products together to create a card. Actually, 3 cards. So here first is just a basic card. Typically when you are doing a card, a basic card, your card front is going to be a 1/4 sheet of cardstock. So the size is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then when you step down, the rule of thumb is just go down by 1/4 inch. So if that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, that's 4 by 5 1/4. And you would step down. So you could take a piece of designer paper, put it on the back, and it's really, really easy to create. But I'm going to show you how you take this piece of paper, and I'll give you the sizes in a minute. And by just the way you cut this background piece, you're going to create 3 different looks for your card. So let me give you those sizes first. And I'm giving it to you in 3s because we're creating 3 different cards. So you are going to have here a piece of 2 1/2 by 4 inch basic white. Then you will have 2 3/4 by 4 1/4 rich raspberry. 3 of those. Then for those backgrounds, I'm using a different piece than I did for here. And I'll show you all 3 samples with this designer paper too when we get done, but I've used it all. I have to get some more free tomorrow when I place my order. But you're going to need 3 pieces of the Dainty Flowers Sale-a-Bration Designer Series paper. And this paper can be earned free with a minimum $50 order starting tomorrow. And then this is 3 3/4 by 5. You have, for your inside, since this is going to be, the card base is going to be dark, you always want to put a piece of Very Vanilla or Whisper White on the inside so you'll be able to write on it. But this is 3 3/4 by 5 inches basic white. And then your 3 card bases are this beautiful rich raspberry. And this is 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored in half at 5 1/2 inches. So I do have a picture of these. I used to always put it on my Facebook page. You will find it there within the next 24 hours. And you can also find it on my blog within the next 24 hours. I just got to get it all together first. So I think what we'll do is we'll create all of our front pieces because I can show you just how quick and easy it is to do that. So Gwen found me too. Yay, all my regulars are showing up. Gwen, it's a new year. We're trying something new. We're on a YouTube live. Woohoo! Let's see how this goes. So what I have here, this is called a stamparatus. I've got so much in front of me. I've got my lights in front of me. It's kind of hard to, let me see if I can move it over some to work this. Now, to me, a stamparatus is one of Stampin' Up's best tools. Here, I can move that. And the reason it's a best tool is because it is a positioning tool. So you will never, ever have to worry about stamping anything crooked again. I also like it because you can take solid images, and when you go to stamp it, you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. If it doesn't come out really dark, you ink it again and you close it because it's in the same place when you are stamping. I have other videos on different things because you can mirror stamp with this. You can side stamp, you can two-step stamp, you can do all kinds of stuff. But again, I think it's one of Stampin' Up's greatest tools. And the nice thing is this sells for $49. So you are right there at your $50 minimum to get your paper for free. So I've already got this set up because this is a card I have done on one of my swaps. But what I'm going to do to create this right here, I'm going to show you just how quick and easy it is. Now originally, I like using the grid paper because, well, let me tell you what it comes with. When you get your stamparatus, you get the 2 plates and they are removable. You get the base and then you get this black foam pad. And the reason you have the black foam pad is because with a red rubber stamp, the clean stamp, it already has a backing on there. So you can just use it and stamp on your stamparatus, no problem. But with photopolymer, it is a much thinner stamp. It's made of like a photopolymer plastic. The reason they use photopolymer is because you can really get some great detail on your stamps themselves. So you want to use this foam backing with photopolymer, and I had just taped a piece of the grid paper on here. So the grid paper, to find the stamparatus, on page 147 of the annual catalog, you'll see the stamparatus tool. We have magnets. The nice thing is you can actually purchase a magnet separate if you lose yours. Okay, been there, done that. That's experience talking. And then you have a replacement foam mat, and then you have these wonderful little grid sheets. So the grid sheets are only $6.50, and they're these small grid papers. And you just tear them off, put them on, and I like them because I can mark where my piece is going to go. So I'm going to take, I've got my 3 pieces here of 2.5 by 4 inch basic white, and I'm going to put them on top. Now, so I originally had the mark here, but I moved it down because once I had stamped this, I wanted to trim it up a little bit. So all I'm doing here is I have my magnet. Now the magnets are found on the back. Let me show you. Well, it's just a place in the back. I'll show you on my other one. And a lot of times I'll wrap washi tape around them because they are so strong. And if they stick together, you want to slide them apart. Don't pry them because they'll break. They'll still work, but they will break. So with my grid paper, I'm going against this line. And again, I retrimmed my paper. I originally had it bigger when I started this, but I trimmed it up just a little bit. So I'm going where these 2 lines are. Close enough, we'll count here. So I'll just put this on here. I put my magnet in place because it's nice and strong. And first I'm going to take, whenever you pull these out of the grid here, pull straight up. You want that to be perpendicular. But I'm going to take the outline. I will, let me see, I'm trying to see where I have any comments. Here we go. I'm going to take the outline and I'm going to just take my black Memento ink. Now, since this is laying down, I could put a stamp pad under there. I could just put an ink pad just to kind of keep it level there. Or I could have done nothing. Then I'm going to, oops. I moved it. All right, let me get it. And the trick of it is once you stamp the first time and you move it, leave it that way because all this is put together. I'll show you how I did this in a minute. So I'm just going to do my flower like that. Now see how some of that didn't come out? That's not a problem because I can ink it up again and push once more. And I'm not cramming this down hard. Anybody who's stamped with me knows stamping light, everything stamping you should do lightly. So I have my image. Now I went ahead and stuck the other part of the flower on this side because I can easily rotate between the 2 plates. So now I will ink up this. That was black Memento ink. This is fresh Freesia. one of our beautiful ink colors. So I'm just going to push that down. And see how it's all lined up and it's on the inside? Then I'm just going to take my old olive and I'm going to ink the top. So I'm utilizing all my plates. Then I'm just going to push this down here. And that is how very quick and very easy my centerpiece is. So we're going to knock all these out at the same time so then we can focus on our backgrounds. Now I can go ahead and do the fresh freesia first. I don't need that outline because it's all lined up in the same place. So here, there's my fresh freesia flowers. I flip it around. Let me get my black Memento ink. Put that over top. And then my old olive leaves. So you can see we're having the stamparatus just for two-step stamping, if nothing else. Makes stamping quick, easy, and praise God, it makes it pretty perfect all the time because it's all lined up. The only thing that's going to mess you up is if you stamp the first image and you move this paper, or if this paper moves. So let me do one more since we're doing 3 cards, and I'll have all these done. So do my outline. Oh, see, a little bit didn't get on there. Must not have applied good pressure. Then I will flip this around, straight up, put it back in. Here I will do my 2-step. It's 1 step, 2-step, and then my old olive. So here I've stamped really quick and easy 3 of the centers. So you asked, I'm guessing you're asking, well, how did you line it up? So that's what I want to show you real quick. So I'm going to grab my other stamparatus because you know I have 2. Can't have just 1. We'll finish these in a minute. Again, with your stamparatus, you have the 2 plates, you have the mat. So what I have here, I was going to show you, on the back, this is where you have your magnets. Now these I haven't wrapped because they were new because I told you I had lost them. So I just got them again, but they are some of the strongest magnets. Honest to Pete, you could hold a child to a wall with them if you had something magnetic on them. It is so strong. So I'm going to put this here. I will take a piece of my grid paper. And always, you know, this can slide sometimes. Always make sure it's up in the corner before you do your stamping. So I will take, I'm going to do our inside pieces so you can see how I lined it up. I will put my piece here. Let me get 2 magnets because I can. And hopefully they won't stick together. And if they do, look at that. Jumped right in my hand. I would have showed you how to get it apart. Okay, so I could put 1 here and 1 there. Now I'm just going to stamp a little flower in the bottom corner for the inside of all my cards. So I'm going to take, I have my stamp set here. I have pieces everywhere. But I'm going to take this little flower and I'll actually lay it on the cardstock. I just want a little flower down in the bottom right corner. So I'll take this, I close it. And when there's no ink on it, open it carefully because it tends to be a little tacky and it wants to stick to it. Once you have the ink on it, it's really no problem at all. So here, I'm just going to take my flower, stamp it, and then I'm going to take the fresh freesia that inside. And I'm going to actually lay it on here. God willing, let me see where I'm at. It's always kind of tricky not to see, oh, if it's not fitting right, turn it upside down. Make sure it has a little centerpiece. Make sure it's pointing up. That would help. I mean, you got to have it in the right direction. So I'll just put my little, it's hard not, with my head not right on top of it, it's kind of hard. But this will be close enough, you'll see it, God willing. You know, it's hard when you're a perfectionist. And I'm only a perfectionist on myself. I never expect it from anybody else. So Gwen said you need to utilize your stamparatus more often. Yes, the two-step stamping, Gwen, really is awesome. I mean, I had to make 20 cards and I could crank them out, no problem at all. And sometimes when you do this, you might need to tweak it a little bit. And if it is, you just take it off and retry, you know, stamp it again. So there I have my flower for the inside. I think now that I'm looking at this, there is this little bitty piece. Oh my goodness, should we? Yes, we should. Let me turn this around. Let me do this side. I'm bet easier on my right side. Turn this around. I've got the little piece where the old olive would be. Like that. Where's my old olive pad? Here we go. Now that's really light and that's real tiny. So I'll just ink it up. And look, y'all, that's how quick and easy it is. So I like to take, so I can get it the same place each time, I like to take a pen, since I have my grid paper, and I know my paper is going to go up in this top corner. So there's one. Let's get our other one done. Put this here and here. Now this is already down, and they're all lined up, so no worries. There's my greenery. Put it on this side for my flower. And then bring this down from the top. One more. And we are rolling. So I've got Miss McCoy's here. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now I will, this takes, which I think it will, we are going to start doing YouTube Lives every noon Eastern time on Wednesdays. Because again, y'all know I like for you to just have a break in your busy morning and come watch me create. So we will be doing it here instead of on my Creating with Colleen Facebook page, but I will not neglect that page. We have other things that we do there. Of course, I will also post the video there. And the other goal is really to start blogging again on my Creating with Colleen blog. So lots of goals for 2023. But that is how you use your stamparatus for 2- and 3-step stamping. Quick, easy, and it works pretty well the whole time. Okay, so I have my 3 inside pieces. I have these pieces for the front of my card. So this is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4 rich raspberry on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these backed. There's one. Now I could use my stamp and seal. Sometimes when it's a bigger image like this, I do like to use my liquid Tombow glue because it's very permanent, it dries really quickly, and I can move it around to make sure I get my edges all straight. So I've got this here. It's 1, 2. Oh, Fran, you are more than welcome for showing this. She thanked me for showing this. I have to tell you, again, go to my channel. I have other videos on the stamparatus and cool things you can do, but it's just an amazing tool, and I find either people don't know about it or they have it and have not used it. And that's just as big of a crime. We don't want that. So I have my 3 pieces. Now in the new mini catalog, because as I said, Sale-a-Bration is starting, but tomorrow, so is this January through April mini catalog. And there's a lot of fun product in here that you're gonna love. I don't know how Stampin' Up does it every time, but they do. So these are flat adhesive backed pearls. This goes with a really nice ocean type set in there. So with this, I found they were great to use for the center of my flowers. So I'm just gonna take, this is my take a pick tool or pick a tool. And what's great is you have a paper piercer, you have, oh my goodness, a stylus that can come off, but this is a little gummy piece and it's wonderful for holding your embellishments, especially if they're really small. My fingers have a hard time doing tiny, so this helps me do tiny. So I have the new flat adhesive backed pearls in the center, and then you have different ways that you can embellish this. So for example, in that beautiful stamp set, it basically, the one here we're using, the Sale-a-Bration, and incidentally, if I forgot to mention, you can earn this stamp set free with a $100 order. And it is great. It's a 17-piece stamp set, and again, covers lots of occasions. So the designer paper you can earn for free with a minimum $50 order, and the beautifully hefty stamp set you can earn with a minimum $100 order. So the cool thing is, if you place a $150 order, you could get the set for free, the paper for free, and then that qualifies you for host benefits. So now you're going to get 10% of your merchandise free, so you get another 15% in product free. Stick with me, I'll show you how to get the most bang for your buck. So in that stamp set, you've got this really cute little bumblebee. So I can put him up here, or her. Never really have been sure how to tell the difference. Then you have the brushed brass butterflies. So these are actually in the annual catalog, these butterflies. Mine are well loved, well used, but it's nice because you have two different sizes. Now with these, since they're so flat, I take the pointed end here and I can just get up underneath there and get the glue. So I think I'm gonna put a big one up here, and then I'm gonna take one of these little bitty tiny ones and have it going this way. In fact, I would like to pull him a little higher. There we go. So now I have this one with the stamped image of the bumblebee, this one with the brass butterflies, and then, where do y'all see this? In the new catalog on page 19, we have these really cute dragonfly trinkets. So with that, I'm going to take one of these, and they're not self-adhesive, but if you take one of our little glue dots, you can pop it on this little guy, right there. And now you have the dragonfly. Let me put the lid on these to keep them safe. So 3 different pieces for the front, and of course we need to stamp a sentiment on there. As I'd said with the beautifully happy stamp set, you have "You are easy to love," "Thank you," "Kindness matters," "For a very happy birthday," "Sending happy thoughts," and "For a feeling better kind of day." So we're going to stamp one of the 3 on the bottom left corner here. So right here we have, I'm using Rich Razzleberry ink. I'm going to use, for this one, "Kindness Matters," because it really, really does. Let's have a thank you. Always need a thank you card. There's your thank you. And then "You are easy to love." I hope you got a couple people you can send that one to. There you go. So our center pieces are done. Our insides are done. So we're going to put them aside here. And now we're going to get to what this video was really all about. How to take 3 different pieces of designer paper. And here we go. I was about to panic. I only had 2. And this is 3 3/4 by 5 inches of the Dainty Flowers Sale-a-Bration paper. So with our card base, we have 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2. And I'm just going to take each one of these and I'm going to fold them in half. So I've got one. Score it with my bone folder so I've got a nice crisp clean edge. 3. And I'm going to just put my insides now so that I have them where I want them to be. And look, here's how thoughtful Stampin' Up! Was. Instead of just having that little white center, now I didn't put this on the stamparatus because it's pretty small. And I can do it by myself. I can just eye it because it's photopolymer, it's clear. But I'm just going to stamp this little bitty piece in the center of each flower. Literally, that's like the easiest thing to stamp. So you can see now my flower is definitely all completely colored in. So I'm going to take our Stampin' Seal. And if you use our Stampin' Seal, some people have had trouble with it because it's either your best friend or your worst enemy. But you feel the sticky glue here. When you put it on here, you just want to pull and roll your wrist like this. And the reason you do that is because you're pulling this adhesive over that wheel each time. If you don't and you pull up, then simply take your finger to get it back on the wheel again. But I love it. I think it's extremely strong. I don't have to worry about, you know, my cards falling apart. And as long as you remember to roll that wrist, she will become your best friend, I promise. And of course you could use the Tombow liquid glue too. So Miss Linda's here, Steph is here. Yes, you are in, Stephanie. Did you all have trouble finding me on YouTube? Because rumor has it that on my channel, if you click the bell, then you will be notified whenever I do a video or a live. So please, if you have not subscribed yet, please do that. And click that bell and we'll see what the 2023 brings in for us. I do appreciate your support and being here with me today. So I have my card bases, I have my 3 pieces here. Now, you could take, this is actually 4 by 5 1/4. That's your basic standard background. And you can do that, but I'm going to show you how to get some different looks with this background. The pieces that I am using, they are going to be 3 3/4 by 5. Just another 1/4 inch smaller because I'm going to separate them in the middle. So for example, this one here, that's the 3 3/4 by 5. All I'm going to do, let me make some room here. Let me slide some stuff over. Is I am going to take this piece. And I have the old Stampin' Up! Trimmer, but I do like it, so that's what I'm going to use. But you could use the other paper trimmer. Either one is fine. And I'm just going to cut diagonally. So when I do this, I'm putting one corner on the edge here, one on the other. Hold that down, slice. And this is a very quick, easy way to get a beautiful diagonal line in the center. So I am going to use my Stampin' Seal, but y'all know my rule of thumb. I do not push anything down until it's exactly where I want it, because I have been known to destroy a card just to try to make sure it's perfect. I don't recommend that, but been there, done that. So here I'm just going to kind of lay this one here. I will take this. And I'll put this on this side. Okay. I look to see if it's straight. And of course, y'all know I want to take this up just a little. See, that's what I'm talking about. Don't push it down, especially with the Stampin' Seal, because again, it's wonderful, but it's very, very strong. So here, I believe I'm not right in front of it, but I can live with that. So now that I like it, I'm going to put that down. And then I can take my very first centerpiece that I have here. I'm going to turn it over and put some of my large dimensionals on it because I want to stand up and give a little bit of dimension to the center of my card. So 3, 4, if it's your floor, you can throw these pieces on your floor. That's how I gauge how productive I have been during the day is when I sweep how much I have in the dustpan. It's going to be a great day. So here I will put this on here. And that is the first background. So again, you could have it solid, but if you want to break it up a little bit and put that beautiful diagonal line in there, you don't have to put a strip of solid cardstock. Just cut your designer paper a little bit smaller and cut it on an angle. So that's number 1. Now number 2, I thought, well gosh, could you cut it like this way too? So let me try that. So now we are going to take this piece, again, 3 3/4 by 5. And what I'm going to do is I will, dimensionals, I'm going to cut it just like I did the first one. So I just go corner to corner and I cut it at an angle like so. Now I technically, and being a drafter, I could do this and it wouldn't bother me. Technically I could find the center and cut from here to the center, but I thought, you know, maybe somebody doesn't want to measure today or have their ruler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these two together just like it was, just totally butt those edges together, and I'm going to take a piece of, let me see, I think it's easier to do it on the back side. There's a lot of pattern going there. So I'm just lining this up again, just edge to edge. And I'm going to take this and actually put it on here with a piece of Post-it note. Let me see if that held it. I think so. Let me line it up again. Let me just pull it over a little bit to get on that edge. Here we go. Okay. So I'm just holding it together, and then I will take this and I'm just going to cut the other way. So there again, I've got the top and the bottom corners right on that edge. Hold it down, and I've actually cut that into 4 pieces now. So when I take my next card base, that's going to be my top, that will be my side, this is going to be my bottom, and that's going to be my other side. So I'm going to have that bold line actually going together like a cross on here. So once again, take your snail. Don't push down till you want it, this one especially. But when I'm doing this, I'm just eyeing it, and I'm going maybe at the very most like a 1/4 inch in. Really just kind of like you would with your regular card. So I kind of did top and bottom first. Because here I can kind of get it on the bottom and line up my point in the center, and that did help. So there we have that. Okay, don't push down. Then the one on the right side. Oops, let me get that one there. What are y'all thinking? It's mighty quiet out there. Leave me a comment and let me know if you're liking these backgrounds, the way that you can get some different looks with this one size sheet of designer paper. So here's my last one. I think it's easier, let me see, to go this way. So I think that's it. And then when you look at this, and you can kind of say, okay, I think I like that. Push it all down. So now you've got that in the center. So I will take my next piece here, my next centerpiece, since we already have them done. So Stephanie is loving it. And Stephanie, I'm sure, will be creating it this afternoon. She is such an avid stamper. She does a great job. Oh, good. Caters likes it. Barb likes it. Bren likes it. Thank you all. Thanks. It's just something different, something fun. So here you have the one diagonal line, and here you've got the cross in the background. So the last one that I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this into rectangles. So as we said, this was, let me make sure because this is crucial here. This was 3 3/4 by 5. So for the 5, that's 2.5 inches. So just take this in your paper cutter and you're just gonna cut it in half at 2.5 inches. Now this is 3 3/4. So it really kind of comes out to, I believe it is 1 7/8. Because you figure half of 3 is 1 1/2. And then you've got another quarter to make that half, and then that. So 1 7/8. I try to steer away from those, but they work. So make sure that they're both even when you put them in there. And 1 7/8. Here goes. And then you have 4 rectangles. So for your pieces, I got to try to remember which way it went this way. So when I have this here, gosh, now it's like a puzzle, but you're really not going to notice it either way. But I got to check it out. Okay, so with your pieces that you have here, I think it went this way. No. Okay, see that's where I get myself into trouble because I want it to be perfect and nobody's going to really notice it that way. But if I turned it, it's easier to see because you don't have as many colors. So I do know they're all going this way and life is good. Yep, that one goes there. That one can go there. Now I can sleep. Okay. Yep, I can sleep now. So what I'm going to have is this one here. I'll put in the top left. And again, if I don't feel that stickiness, just wheel it around because you want to curl your wrist. Okay, Linda said move the top 2 across. I know, Linda, it's like crazy. It's crazy. Okay, Lisa, you're watching right at the time that I'm having a hard time. So we're just going to put them on here. But anyways, again, don't push down. I've got this here. And I have this one. And honestly, the section that I'm putting in the middle really and truly covers most of it. Then I'll put this one down here. Like so. This kind of reminds me of like a window. So you could easily make a window this way. All right. Okay, y'all know the rule of thumb. You don't push down till it's where you like it. This one I think is a little high. So let me move it over. There we go. Do I like that? Yes. Push it all down, and now I'll take my last centerpiece that I have with those little brushed butterflies, and I will take my large dimensionals and pop it on here. So thank you, Lisa Freeman, for watching. She actually, yes, thank you, Lisa, I love you. She said, nobody's perfect except Jesus, and I know that. So I should not be perfect either. But it was Lisa who actually taught me how to do YouTube Lives. So I finally took that step, Lisa. Thank you for your prayers. And I like it. I like it. It's a new year with new beginnings. So here I have my cards. So by just cutting those backgrounds, I have the one that kind of looks like a window. They were all the same size sheet background. I have this one, which is more of a zigzag, diagonals. And then I have this one here, which is just a nice, bold diagonal across. You all saw how easy it is to create this using the stamparatus. And I hope if you don't have one, you will consider getting one during Sale-a-Bration, because it is the best tool out there that Stampin' Up! Has. And as you can see, it makes creating easy. I think it just makes it consistent when you are using it. And you can line things up. If you stamp something and you get the image and it's not there, you can restamp it. It's just absolutely wonderful. So that will be wrapping up my first YouTube Live. So I appreciate you all being here, and I will be here again next Wednesday, noontime Eastern Time, at your Creating with Colleen Magnus YouTube channel. I hope you all will subscribe and click the bell so that you'll be notified when I make other videos. And keep in mind, the mini catalog and the Sale-a-Bration starts tomorrow. You'll be able to order out of these catalogs. So don't delay. And you can order on my website, creatingwithcolleen.com. If your order is less than $50, please use this host code. And if not, if it's 150 or more, if it's under 150, use the host code. If it's 150 or more, you get 10% of your merchandise back in free merchandise. So you can always text, call me, anything I can do to help you create, I'm always here. So Happy New Year to you all. Thanks again for joining me, and do something new this year. Get out of your box. It's actually quite fun. May God bless you all, and have a happy day. Bye-bye. And with that.